Hey everybody, welcome to the Wednesday Word. This week we're taking a look at Romans chapter 7, verses 13 through 18, talking all about doing. So if you haven't read those verses yet, take a look at the Monday meditation. Read along with me as we take a look at those verses and read all what Paul has to say about doing. You see, in these verses, Paul talks about how he doesn't do the things he wants to do and he does the things he doesn't want to do. So it's kind of like this little cube here. This is a little puzzle maze cube thing, and I don't know if you ever had one of these before, ever played with one before, but there's a little ball in there that's kind of like moving around as you kind of twist it and rotate it, and you're trying to like solve the maze and get the ball through the maze. But I don't know if you ever played with one of these before, but it is so difficult sometimes to get it to go to the place you want it to go. Like I'll move it a little bit this way and it'll go somewhere else. I'll try to get it through one hole and it goes through another. You know, I want it to go left, but it goes right. I want it to go straight and it goes center, it goes left. I mean, it just does whatever it wants to do, as hard as I try. And eventually, sometimes I'll get it right and it'll go right away at the right place, but so much of the time, it doesn't do what I want it to do. Kind of like that, we do the same thing. Maybe it's wanting to do something, but we can't get ourselves to do it. And usually that's kind of driven by the opposite, which is that we do the things we don't want to do. Maybe it's letting our teammates down. Maybe it's letting our parents down. Maybe it's abandoning a friend in their moment of need. Maybe it's just falling short of where we're supposed to be. We don't quite get to the level that we want to be, or we do something that we regret, something that we shouldn't have done. These are both ways that we can kind of get in our own heads and convince ourselves that we can't do it, which leads to the other one where I sometimes stop myself from doing something that I know I should do because I'm scared I'm going to mess it up. Maybe I'm just too worried about trying to get this in the right hole that I just don't even play with the toy at all. I'm like, I'm just going to throw it over there. Screw it. I'm not doing this. It's not even worth it because I'm just going to mess it up anyway. I'm not going to be able to get it to the place I want it to be. Well, what God's saying here, what Paul's saying here, and God's saying through Paul is, that's not the place God wants us to dwell in. You see, even though, regardless of whichever one we do, regardless of if we fail to do the thing that we're supposed to do, or if we do the thing we're not supposed to do, Jesus still loves us. Jesus still cherishes us. Jesus is never going to abandon us because of that. So I can sit here and I can keep trying. I can keep trying to get it through the hole I want it to get through. I can keep working at it until I get it to the point where I want it to be. And if even every single time that I make a mistake that goes past, or that it falls short, or that it goes down the wrong hole, I know I can try again. Which is the beauty of the gospel, beauty of what Paul is saying here, is that even though we sometimes make mistakes, sometimes we fall short, it's not the end of the story. We are able to try again. There is always forgiveness, grace, mercy, and a second chance with Jesus. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth chance with Jesus. So whenever you're struggling to get out of your own head and you're stuck thinking, oh man, maybe I haven't repented enough for that sin, or I haven't done enough to atone for that thing, or I just am so worried that I'm going to do it wrong. Remind yourself about this passage. Remind yourself about Romans chapter 7 verses 13 through 18. That Paul reminds us that regardless of what happens, Jesus still loves us, Jesus still cares for us, and there's always another chance to try again. So be like the cubes and keep trying till you get it. And remember that this journey that we go on, this process of doing it right, is never going to be perfected till we get to spend eternity with Jesus. So that's the Wednesday Word this week. Taking a look at Romans chapter 7, verses 13 through 18. Spend some time with those verses. Think on them some more this week, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.